What if the most intimate act of human connection was no longer a private choice, but a government-mandated obligation with penalties for non-compliance? In Sex Talks, When Desire Becomes Law, Zak Maymin delivers a dystopian romantic thriller that transforms the bedroom into a courtroom and passion into political rebellion, proving that the most dangerous revolutions begin not in the streets, but in the spaces where bodies meet under duress. This isn't just speculative fiction or erotic suspense. It's a searing exploration of autonomy, consent, and the terrifying fragility of personal freedom when desire is legislated. From the first chilling narration, listeners are thrust into a near-future society where intimacy is commodified, monitored, and taxed, making every touch an act of defiance or compliance. Perfect for fans of dark romance, dystopian thrillers, and stories that challenge societal norms, this audiobook serves up intellectual provocation wrapped in visceral tension, creating an experience that lingers in the mind long after the final chapter fades. When compliance officer Mara Voss is assigned to audit citizens' intimacy filings for the Department of Relational Equity, she believes in the system's necessity until she's paired with Cale Renner, a charismatic dissident whose refusal to participate exposes cracks in her ideological armor. Their mandated interactions begin as clinical transactions, but as Cale challenges Mara to question the morality of enforced connection, something unexpected ignites, a genuine attraction that exists outside the law's framework. Maymin masterfully balances world-building with emotional stakes, crafting a dystopia that feels disturbingly plausible without sacrificing character depth. The audiobook narration amplifies this unease, capturing Mara's internal conflict and Cale's quiet rebellion with vocal nuances that make every whispered conversation feel like treason and every moment of authentic connection feel like salvation. You don't just hear their story, you feel the weight of surveillance and the electric risk of choosing each other anyway. What elevates Sex Talks beyond typical dystopian fare is its nuanced treatment of consent within coercion. Maymin refuses to romanticize oppression. Instead, he uses the premise to interrogate how power shapes desire and whether love can exist when choice is systematically removed. Mara's journey isn't about falling for a rebel, it's about dismantling her own complicity in a system that equates control with care. Cale isn't a savior, but a catalyst whose resistance forces Mara to confront uncomfortable truths about privilege, belief, and the cost of awakening. Their relationship evolves through friction and revelation, tense audits that double as philosophical debates, stolen moments of unmonitored touch that carry the weight of revolution, and confrontations where ideology clashes with emerging humanity. Supporting characters add moral complexity, fellow officers grappling with cognitive dissonance, citizens navigating survival versus integrity, even architects of the tax system whose justifications reveal deeper societal wounds. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core question: can desire be truly free when it's born in captivity? For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive psychological experience. The narrator embodies Mara's shifting perspective with remarkable range, from detached professionalism to dawning horror to fragile hope, while Cale's voice carries warmth beneath defiance, making his humanity palpable against the sterile backdrop. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming intimacy. The hum of monitoring devices, the oppressive silence of bureaucratic offices, the hushed urgency of forbidden conversations that feel dangerously loud. Pacing mirrors the tension between control and chaos, accelerating during moments of systemic enforcement and slowing for scenes of vulnerable connection that demand space to breathe. Whether you're commuting through urban landscapes or lying awake at night, the audiobook creates a claustrophobic yet compelling soundscape that makes you feel the weight of the world Mara inhabits. It's storytelling as ethical provocation, transforming passive listening into active reflection on freedom, power, and what we owe each other as humans. Ultimately, Sex Talks redefines dark romantic thrillers by centering consent as both theme and narrative engine. It satisfies genre cravings for high-stakes tension and emotional intensity, while delivering substantive commentary on bodily autonomy and institutional overreach. No prior knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete, thought-provoking journey. If you've ever questioned where the line lies between protection and control, or wondered whether love can survive systemic dehumanization, this audiobook will affirm that true intimacy requires freedom, and that sometimes the most radical act is simply choosing to reclaim your own heart. Press play, brace yourself for discomfort, and prepare to reconsider everything you assume about desire, law, and the courage it takes to reclaim your own heart. Your next obsession isn't waiting in escapism, it's waiting in the brave confrontation of truths we'd rather ignore.